Welcome to today's video on London Visited, and as you can see behind me, we are in Greenwich Park, which gives you amazing views over London once you reach the top. But today we're here for a different reason. We are going to climb to the top of the hill, and no, it's not a nursery rhyme. We're going to the Royal Observatory at Greenwich, to the home of time. This is part of the Royal Observatory, and I'm going to tell you all about this part and that red ball specifically, which can be seen from the Thames very shortly. This clock was installed in 1852 and is the earliest electronically driven clock. Always right to GMT, so in the summer it's out. It's a 24-hour clock because it's ever so slightly different, so noon's at the bottom and midnight's at the top. This is one of 3 sets of the official measures for imperial measurement. One's at Trafalgar Square, linked to the top here, one's at the Guildhall in central London, and this one here over at Greenwich. This official height measure from sea level at 154 feet is actually 46.93 metres if you like it in metric. Now, because the Royal Observatory is on the top of the hill, the view that you get over London from Greenwich is quite spectacular. So here we can see the Cutty Sark. We've already seen the City of London, and as we go across you can see the Thames just in front of the Royal Maritime Museum, which is right in front of us. Here you have Canary Wharf. The view you get from the top here is quite incredible, and I've put a link to another video that we've done for the views across Greenwich up in the top right hand corner. Here we're now looking out to East London and, of course, the world famous O2. All of this so far is without even going into the observatory, but as you do go in, you start to see sundials and other things related to the history of time. There's a number of different sundials and also different objects around the gardens before you even get into the observatory. We go from a sundial to a place where a telescope was kept, and that ring of bricks that you can see is all that remains of a 100-foot deep tunnel in which you can see here the telescope was enclosed in. With only that small space, can you imagine how small the stairs would have been to go down that 100 metres? So we go from a blocked up hole in the ground where a telescope was to part of an original telescope used by William Herschel. Something that I certainly learned is there are 4 different Meridian lines, including the current GMT, and we're going to show you these, and this is the first one, which was Flamsteed's Meridian Line. Much like life is today, all the scientists sort of disagreed where the Meridian Line should be, but eventually they stuck with GMT, which you'll see a little bit later. Here we're in the Sun Garden, and yes, here we go. This is a sundial with a difference. You see this here? It's 2 dolphins, and where the dolphin's tail is and the sun shines on it, it actually tells you the time. As you can see, there are lots of guides to all of the different things that are here at the Royal Observatory, but sometimes you can just look and work it out for yourself. As the sun shines on this sundial, the sun goes through the 2 back ends of the fins where the dolphins almost meet. That then hits the plate that's underneath and tells you what the current time is. How great's that? Unfortunately for us today, the sun was very, very low, so it didn't hit. Right, let's go from a couple of dolphins to something else you're not going to want to miss, and it's here, the camera Obscura. Let me tell you a bit about this. You're going to go into a dark room, and on this white table in front of you, you're going to watch the image which is coming through a camera which is at the top of this tower. What this does is it uses a lens in the top of the building to reflect the image that can be seen from that onto the table down below, as shown in this diagram. This is then reflected onto the table as a sort of natural projector, so you can watch what's going on live. And if you just look there, from the right tower to the left tower, there's boats going across the Thames. The brighter the day, the brighter the picture on the table, and also that's why you've got a black curtain stopping any light from coming in. And if you look at the top of this tower underneath the ball, you can see the notch just there where the image is coming in. This is a popular thing to see, so make sure you get up here quick and join your place in the queue. But look at the views across from Greenwich, across the city, and there you can see St Paul's. close to the Sky Garden, which is the walkie-talkie shaped skyscraper, there on the right hand side. And then as you view across the city, you've got the Gherkin and the River Thames wonderfully in view as it comes into Greenwich. And there you can see the three masts of the Cutty Sark. So this is Meridian Line number 2. I promised you 4, 2 more to come. But this is GMT. This is what we use now, and this is known to be the Greenwich Meridian Prime Meridian Line. Here you can stand with one part of your body in the east and one part of your body in the west. It's incredible to think this block of concrete that you're going to see marks another GMT marker. As remember, there's 4 of them across, and this is number 3. It was later then found to be out, and it was then used to support a telescope. By the way, the arrow is just to point out it's not the bin or the bollard. This is another must-do. Just stand in the courtyard and take in the history that surrounds you as you look around the buildings here at Greenwich. Right, let me tell you about that red ball. What happens is at 1 o'clock GMT, the ball actually rises and falls. So it is seen by those on the Thames, and those on the Thames know it is 1 o'clock GMT. Now, understandably, you're probably watching this video and thinking, wow, doesn't he know a lot? But look what you can do. There's loads of guides around, and you can also download the free app as well to get a free audio guide. Now, that doesn't happen often, does it? By the way, you can stick with your original thoughts. Yes, I do know a lot. Allegedly. So you'll notice it's only now that we're actually going into the observatory and seeing some of the scientific things used to discover GMT and also to look into space. It's incredible when you go around and you look at this and you go, that name rings a bell. Edmund Halley, of course, was famous for discovering Halley's Comet. And isn't it incredible? 18 years Halley spent here, but most of his research went down the toilet because he didn't check the calibration of his clocks and telescopes. Wow. Now, the incredible thing about the architecture here is when you look up, you can see that all of the roof opens up to expose the sky so they could use it to look through their telescopes. And not much has changed here over the last 100 or so years. If you're looking and thinking what those numbers on the wall for, they signify what number chapter you need to be on that free app that I showed you earlier. And here is Meridian Line number 4. What these 4 Meridian lines show you is that all of the scientists and the astronomers got it all pretty close. Now, what I like here is that they've set the room up to look into space. Great! Got the telescope, but look at the chair. They've even got a comfy chair. And once again, you can see as the roof hatches will open, will expose the evening sky so they can look out. Although, looking at it now, not quite sure how comfortable that chair probably is. Right, we've moved from the Bradley Room and his Meridian Line to GMT, or the Prime Meridian as it's now known, and this telescope that's set up bang on 0 degrees. And once again, you can notice from the roof here that the hatches would be open so you could look out into the night sky. One of the great things about this place is how close you can get to all of the equipment and almost touch most of the stuff that's here, which is really, really good. And here with this telescope, believe it or not, they used to climb down into this pit and look up into space from down there. Really hope you're enjoying the video, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you really want to make sure you do, because in 2022 we've got some other great things to bring you to keep you and your families entertained when you come to London. Now, on the roofs you will have noticed some domes, and these are observation areas where telescopes were used. Here is one of the first ones, and this is particularly good because you've got all sorts of time phrases. Which one's your favourite? Let us know in the comments down below. I think the only one that's missing is from the James Bond film, we have all the time in the world. But do we? I suppose that's the question. And it's incredible to think that this dome was used with telescopes to look and measure the moon, the stars, and find all sorts of things well out into space for about 120 years.
Now here, in this part of the exhibition, you have all sorts of timepieces, clocks, etc., which are available on show, which shows you a history of time. Now, another famous time phrase, of course, is time is money. And let's talk money, because I was really surprised at how little I paid to come to the exhibition. It was only £8 for adults and cheaper for children. So it's a great time to come down and come and have a look at this. And as you can see with the various things, and we haven't even gone to the major telescope yet, it is well worth a visit. Now, once you've finished in this part of the exhibition, you take the spiral staircase up to the Great Equatorial Telescope. What's that? It's the biggest telescope that they have here at the Royal Observatory. And look at this. This telescope has been used to discover all sorts of things happening on different planets and in different stars across our solar system. So just think of the history that's been viewed down this telescope. Now, one of the things that they do offer here is during some of the winter nights, you can come in, obviously you pay for it, but you can come in and you can look into space with the telescope. So if you're a real star buff and you like space, it might be something worth considering. In the words of Stephen Hawking, that was a brief history of time. I know that was bad, wasn't it? Anyway, if you enjoyed that, here's another museum that we've covered up in the top right hand corner, and it's the London Transport Museum over at Covent Garden. If you click on that video, I think you'll love that, and to take the family there would be brilliant. Thanks for watching, and see you in that shortly.